Now going to question number 20. Here the prompt is telling us this is a grammar question. And in particular, it's a question that we jokingly refer to as the LeBron James rule. So before we get into that, let's just review what a clause is as compared to a modifier. So a clause has a subject and a verb. For instance, John jumped. Jumped is the verb, and John is the subject because it's the person or thing who's doing the verb. On the other hand, a modifier is missing the subject, the verb, or both. For instance, if I just said, while jumping, of course that can't be a sentence because it's missing the subject and the verb. ING words are not verbs, and therefore it can't stand on its own as a sentence. Now, the LeBron James rule, what we jokingly refer to as the LeBron James rule, is the idea that if a sentence starts with a modifier that's missing the subject must start the second part of the sentence. Our example, after leading Miami to 2 championships, LeBron moved back to Cleveland. So here in green is our independent clause. And here in red is a modifier that's missing the subject. So who was leading Miami to 2 championships? If you simply read the red part of the sentence, then it leaves you wondering, who are we talking about? And it creates a lot of suspense to the point where you have to start the next part with the name, LeBron. So in 20, the sentence starts with one of the few African-American global explorers during the turn of the 20th century. And we're not being told who is one of the few African-American global explorers during the turn of the 20th century. So there's a lot of suspense here. So the only answer choice that we can pick is Matthew Henson, because it's the only one that starts with the person's name. So the answer here is going to be A. But know that typically a decoy answer here would be something that would say, Matthew Henson's ideas were well known among a lot of people. In other words, if I said Matthew Henson's ideas, I am mentioning his name, but I'm not really talking about him. I'm talking about his ideas. So that would be a decoy answer that you would see typically in this situation, even though we don't see it on question 20. But the answer here is A.